Before sonar or deep-sea submersibles, the ocean was a living, breathing mystery. Ancient mariners didn't just fear monsters, they believed they were there. They reported both sightings and battles with them, reflected in their seafaring, their maps, and their rituals. Across the Mediterranean and beyond, sailors left offerings to appease what lurked beneath, creatures they believed served gods or were gods themselves. Maps showed dragons, serpents, and leviathans curling around the edges of the known world, not decoration, but warning. To these early navigators, the sea was divine territory, its depths forbidden and sentient. Were they just jumpy about the unknown and mired in superstition? Or was there substance to their belief? From Norse sagas to modern fiction, one legend refuses to die: the Kraken. In the 13th century Urvar Odur's saga, sailors spoke of an island that moved, vast and tentacled. By the 1750s, Bishop Erik Pontoppidan's Natural History of Norway gave the monster its name and permanence: a floating mountain with arms that could drag down ships. Centuries later, Jules Verne reimagined that same terror in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. When Captain Nemo and the Nautilus battled a giant squid, it wasn't just fiction. It was the industrial age confronting the ancient myths of the deep. 1,000 years after the Norse sagas, the same legend had simply traded sails for steel. And in 1918, when the German submarine UB-85 was found adrift, local lore suggests its crew claimed a monster had attacked it during the night. Same waters, same terror. Only the ships had changed. And across the Atlantic, in the rum-soaked taverns of the Caribbean, pirates had traded more than gold. They swapped stories of serpents that snaked through the water after their ships, of tentacles that brushed the hull at midnight, of eyes that glowed beneath the moonlit sea, and snakes of the sea that wrapped around spars or rose like masts from the waters. Such stories also reached New England's rocky shores. In 1639, sailors near Cape Ann swore they saw a giant serpent coiling above the surf. 2 centuries later, the Gloucester sea serpent made headlines. Hundreds of witnesses, ministers and fishermen alike, all describing the same creature, 50 to 100 feet long, a humped, undulating form moving through the harbor as thick as a barrel and sometimes moving at a high rate of speed. The Linnean Society of New England took sworn statements and even gave it a name: Scoliophus atlanticus, the Atlantic humped snake. Could the Gloucester sea serpent be connected to Champy, the cryptid of Lake Champlain between New York and Vermont, with a waterway connecting it to the Atlantic? The Cape Ann sightings mirrored similar reports in Penobscot Bay in Maine, including one report where an ensign on the ship, Protector, spotted the beast poking its head and neck several feet out of the water and took a shot at it. And just decades later, in 1848, naval officers aboard the British frigate HMS Daedalus watched a long-necked creature pacing their ship, a shadow sometimes moving beneath their hull as they moved through the South Atlantic off the coast of Namibia. From pirate whispers to ship captains' reports, the same shadow moved beneath their keels. And from the hushed whispers of swashbucklers to detailed ship captains' reports, the ocean met our collective curiosity with silence, until something stared back. Beyond the Atlantic, other waters carried their own monsters. And even up until recent times, when in 1977, the Japanese fishing vessel Zuiyo-Maru hauled up something extraordinary: a rotting carcass off New Zealand's coast. 4 flippers, a long neck. The world gasped. Was this a plesiosaur alive in the modern age? It made headlines and spawned questions and theories about whether prehistoric creatures lived on, challenging the commonly assumed timelines. Scientists later argued it was a decomposed basking shark, but the photos seemed to suggest a different story, and the legend of the Pacific's living fossil took on a life of its own. The ocean covers more than 2/3 of our planet, and yet Over 95% of it remains unexplored. Its trenches are darker than space, its silence deeper than imagination. To assume we've found every creature that lives within it is to underestimate the scale of the sea and of creation itself. Take, for example, how scientists had believed a prehistoric fish, the Coelacanth, had vanished with the dinosaurs, long since extinct, but it wasn't gone. It was simply hiding. In 1938, it shocked scientists to find it alive, looking identical to fossils supposedly from 360 million years ago. Perhaps there is more convergence between myth and truth, between monsters and zoology, between what we fear and what we have yet to discover. Perhaps we have been wrong with many of our assumptions about the natural world, and some myths are more than mere myth and simply waiting to surface. To dig deeper into this mystery, check out our video on dragons and dinosaurs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to watch more videos of the mysterious, the overlooked, and the forgotten.